So the day is in the midst of a year-long look at affordable housing in the region. What specifically do you think the legislature should do to help people who can't afford to buy a home or are struggling to rent an apartment?
So this is huge. We have 85,000 vacancies. We need 85,000 workforce homes in Connecticut. As a visiting nurse, I'm in homes every day. I know what our housing stock is. The legislature has to incentivize for the suburban towns to build some workforce housing. We're not talking, low income high rises. We're talking about starter homes like most of our parents bought when they first bought their first home. And you live in there for your whole life and build on if your family grows, or you make some money and then you can build a larger home. But there's no starter homes out there. So it is a really big problem because we're not going to get the people to come work here if they can't afford a home, if they can't afford housing. You have to have a house. So it is something very important to me and that I will work very hard on when I get to the legislature.
Connecticut recently enacted a law designed to provide safeguards against lawsuits for out-of-state patients seeking abortions in Connecticut and any provider who helps them. Do you support efforts to make Connecticut such a safe haven?
Absolutely. Women's reproductive care is a freedom. It is a freedom. Physicians deserve the freedom to practice medicine that they went to school and worked so hard to perform. And I'm proud of my state that we want to help women who want to have planned pregnancies. And absolutely, I absolutely support it.
The state's surplus has grown to over $4 billion. Do you support the decision to use some of that to lower the state's pension debt, or do you think more should be returned to the taxpayer?
No, we have to continue on track with what we are doing for the pension debt. We are in the situation we're in because for years they kicked the can down the road, and we need to put money into that rainy day fund and not touch it because a rainy day truly means a rainy day, and you can see what's going to happen in Florida in the next 48 hours. We are recording this before the Category 4 hurricane is about to hit Florida. And that's what a rainy day fund is for huge disasters like that. So I completely support what the governor right now and lieutenant governor is doing with the budget.
How should Connecticut move forward to address climate change with regard to electric vehicles, wind power, and other clean energy strategies?
We have a lot more storms, a lot more fires. We have to do this now, and we have to incentivize as much electric vehicles as we can. The Inflation Reduction Act has done that. It's going to really put a lot of money into Connecticut where the constituents and the businesses are going to be able to get a lot of tax money back for investing in clean energy. And we just have to continue to do it. It has to be a high priority because we can't wait any longer.
Do you think the 2020 election was conducted fairly and Joe Biden won? And separately, do you support early voting and voting by mail initiatives?
Yes. President Biden is our president, and he won fair and square. Our elections are carried out by a lot of people that work really hard to make sure we have fair elections. All of our poll workers work very hard and take it incredibly seriously. And it's very sad that, unfortunately, after this past presidential election, many of them feel like what they have done isn't respected by the people, and that's just very sad to me. I do believe in early voting. I see, people that are planning to have surgeries or have daycare issues, or it's just hard sometimes that you just don't know on that second Tuesday of November, that day is going to be a really good day, because that day can turn out to be a really awful day. When you wake up this morning and, wow, today's a good day and I have a couple extra hours, I would love to vote today where it's not stressful. So yes, I don't know what we're afraid of. Many other states do it and they do it well. So I absolutely support early voting.
And how do you plan to balance the needs of such a variety of towns, ranging from New London to Old Lyme to Montville?
It's what I do now. I mean, I know the towns. I almost every street I drive down, and I'm not kidding when I say this. Like, I have taken care of somebody on that street, or I know somebody who lives on that street. I have the energy, I have the advocacy, I have the empathy, and there's no question in my mind that I will be able to meet the needs of all of the towns. I do it right now as a nurse. I can do it as a senator.